The Reaper armor set, and we've got a full look at it here alongside some decent dual-wielding scythe gameplay, and it doesn't stop there because Pedder has actually managed to find footage of 3 new abilities that are very likely going to be arriving in the Siege of Paris DLC. Now of course this stuff has been found in the game files by Pedder, which means it is subject to change and not yet fully confirmed, so just bear that in mind. Saying that though, it all looks pretty solid so far, and big thanks to Pedder. I don't actually think he slept in about 3 days, so great work mate, thanks from all of us, and let's get going. Now jumping straight into the scythe weapons first, and I've got 2 here to show you, and let's kick it off with the Bloodied scythe. And it seems to be a bit of a trend here actually, as the one-handed sword that we did pick up in the Sigurblot festival also follows a kind of similar bloodied cosmetic look. I don't mind it too much personally, but I think if I was to try and describe the Grim Reaper scythe, I think this would be pretty close to it. And truth be told, I'm not honestly sure what to make of scythes yet. I think they may be a little bit too big for my liking, but of course I'm keen to give them a whirl and see how we get on. But when it comes to stats for the Bloodied scythe, we're actually going to be rewarded with a kill chance finisher here for light and heavy attacks on your standard level enemies when their health drops below that 30% threshold. The chance on this finisher is 30%, which isn't too bad, particularly if you've got a large group of mobs and you're doing a little bit of a twirl with your scythes and smashing them down, and I'm quite interested to see how that'll work if it procs simultaneously with multiple enemies. Now scythe number 2, and that is called the Scythe of Tribulation, and perhaps a more impressive looking weapon with a more interesting buff, and that's going to be setting your weapon on fire for a light and heavy finisher hit, so the duration for that is 10 seconds, which also isn't too shabby at all. And just from the outset here, it does look like the game is kind of encouraging us to give the dual wielding scythes a go, as both of the stats on both of these weapons complement each other quite well. And speaking of dual wield gameplay, here we are, and if I was to describe it, I would say slow, a huge area of damage, and incredibly realistic. But to be honest with you, I think I actually prefer running around with just the one scythe over the 2. It seems a little bit more legit in my eyes. But more importantly, what do you think about this? Let me know down below in the comments. And just as a heads up, by the way, I'm actually currently doing a Siege of Paris DLC giveaway, so I'm not affiliated with Ubisoft in any way, and this is just kind of a way of me giving you a firm handshake, fist bumps all around for your awesome support over the last few months. And best of all, it's completely free to enter, so you just need to be a subscriber of the channel, and the link is down below, so good luck. Now let's take a look at the Reaper armor set, and we've seen it in the marketing trailers so far, and I think it does look pretty cool, mainly for its simplicity. Interestingly, you'll be able to actually purchase this set from Rebel missions, which if you haven't actually heard about before, we do talk about it in a little bit of detail in this video, so go check that out if you'd like a little bit more context about Rebel missions. And when it comes to stats, this is an assassin set through and through, no question. We actually pick up a restoring health bonus after a successful assassination, and that's a 15% health bonus as well, just for actually equipping the set, which isn't too bad, but not great. Saying that though, I think the standout perk here is the time slowing for longer when you're actually spotted by an enemy, and that time bonus is going to be 2 seconds long. I don't know about you guys, but I would have absolutely loved this armor set in the mastery challenges. I could have really done with it then, but either way, I'm hoping for a more robust and refined stealth experience in the Siege of Paris. I think we all are, but if it's not up to scratch, I think this set is going to alleviate some of those initial detection problems. Hopefully the stealth mechanics will be improved in these black box missions, but we do have this insurance perk for us on this armor set if needed. Also, when you actually upgrade the mask to mythical, you actually pick up this nice helmet face guard, which I think is quite similar to the Byzantine face mask that we got in the Wrath of the Druids. I like both of them, to be fair, and I'm glad we've got a transmog option, as I think I'm going to be mixing this up several times over. And by the way folks, if you've got any value out of this video so far or learned anything new at all, then a quick like down below only takes a second, and it would be very kind and very helpful, so thanks very much. Now moving on to some abilities, and it looks like we've got 3 new ones coming to Paris, and they may look a little familiar, as we have actually seen snippets of these showcased by Ubisoft in their marketing trailers. Pedder also found these named in the game files a few months ago, so it's looking pretty concrete right now. First up, and I think this is actually my favourite ability so far in the whole of the game, as we haven't actually seen anything like this before that I can recall, and it's the Plague of Rats ability, where we're able to actually coat an arrow in rat bait that subsequently attracts a swarm of rats to attack NPCs. I like everything about this ability, if I'm being honest. I think it's got a great animation, and it will be useful in game as a bit of a distraction mechanic. You can also upgrade it to level 2, and I think that doubles the amount of rats available after firing your rat bait arrow. Our next ability is the Goule breath. It's another poison arrow ability, and I don't think it's exactly reinventing the wheel here, but it does make enemies unwell when you fire your arrow. The first cloud animation is quite theatrical, and I'm a bit of a fan, but when you do upgrade it, the cloud disappears for a proper stealth poison dart, which I know a lot of you will quite like. And finally, you may have seen this one before in the Siege of Paris trailer, and it's the sticky bomb ability, also called the Golden Flame. This allows you to stick a Viking-esque grenade to an enemy, which you seem to be able to do in and out of combat, resulting in an explosion. Not sure if it'll kill elite enemies outright, but if you do upgrade it to level 2, it seems that you can then lob the dude into more NPCs and mobs, which I also like. Looks like a lot of fun, and I think this is our first look actually at some Frankish NPCs, which also look quite cool as well. And it doesn't stop there either, folks, because you may remember that Pedder also found details of 2 stealth-orientated cloaks in the game files a while back, the Bellatorres Robe and the Frankish travel cloak. Well, he's got them, and I'll be breaking them down in the next video alongside all of the weapons in the game file so far, some of which you haven't actually seen yet, as well as those hybrid runes that look like a new addition to the Siege of Paris. So a lot of exciting stuff to come, and if you'd like to be the first to know when that does drop, it may be worth clicking that notification bell so you can find your way back easily. Once again, big thanks from all of us to you, Pedder. We're loving this insider info and we're looking forward to more. And I think that'll do from me, folks. Let me know what you think of all of this down below. And I'm actually about to have a pizza, so this time, pizza's on me.